Coming up next on the PokerUpdate.com weekly burn and turn, we talk about how to attract recreational poker players to the tables. We also give you 3 ways to get out of a poker downswing and 5 reasons that you should be showing your whole cards to an opponent. Plus, Ronda Rousey. What does that have to do with poker? Stay tuned.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the weekly Burn and Turn. I'm Shimi Weiss.
And I'm Robbie Straczynski here for PokerUpdate.com, the week of November 15th, 2015. Glad to be back. We missed last week's episode, right?
No.
No? You had an episode?
Dude, you think you go on vacation and things stop? We had an episode. You don't watch our episodes?
I subscribed.
Robbie. Oh, wow. Is there a way to actually check the subscribers? I want to actually check that Robbie is subscribed. Okay. You should be watching even when you're on vacation. We had an awesome... Why do you think I'm starting off the show? You lost your spot, man.
I fully admit I was watching from the airport, actually. Shira did a great job filling in.
Shira was awesome.
Good stuff. Shira, the editor of PokerUpdate.com. Thanks for filling in, Shira. You had a great time on vacation. Went to Prague in the Czech Republic.
You look really, really tired.
Yeah, because all night they check. See what I did there with the rounders?
I see what you did there.
Right.
It's like a little poker pun.
Yeah.
Good job.
There we go. All night check.
Very punny.
They check raised.
Oh, Lord.
No? I met a couple checkmates.
At least you know where Prague is. I went to Prague and I thought the entire time that I was in Poland. No joke. And I came back and my wife turned to me and said, Shimi, everyone knows Prague is in Russia. Well, true story.
Thank you to the Ambassador Hotel Poker Room there for hosting me. Had a great time. I'll actually be telling you something about that a little bit later in this week's broadcast of the PokerUpdate.com weekly burn and turn. But now it is time to get back into the swing of things. We'll go for the first topic here. 5 ways to attract recreational poker players.
All right, go for it. What's the best way?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot, Charles Rettmuller, for putting this piece together. I think the best way to attract recreational poker players is to let them know that Shimi is going to be at the table. Yeah, no?
Well played, Robbie.
That's what brought me to poker. All those years ago.
I'm definitely, you know what, Poker Stars, I'm ready to sign on. The second I'm at that table, I promise you, people will be lining up to play against
He's already got that. He's got that fish avatar.
Absolutely.
All Shimmy the fish. It's all.
Once upon a time, I had the full tilt T-shirt with a little fish jumping out of the glass, and I wore that with pride because I am known as Shimmy the Fish.
Yes,
and
not without reason. So, real reasons that were mentioned to bring recreational poker players to the online poker tables. Money, pay them, give them money, an incentive of some sort to come and show up to play some poker.
That always works. Bonuses, anything, any reason to continue playing, something to keep you drawn into the games. I would love it if they had a wider array of games. Something where you could feel a little bit more even-footed with the professionals. And I like what they said in the article in regards to putting a lot more emphasis on Omaha, something where you suddenly get more hands. But I would want to see some crazy games. Bring in some wild games. Bring in something where I could go and sit down and think, hey, I could play with the pros.
For sure. One of the things I absolutely love in my own home, first of all, just the home game atmosphere. That's something that I love. I don't play poker for a living. I play for fun. I consider myself a recreational player. I think Shimmy does too.
Yep.
Yeah, fish references aside. But I think that, millions of people around the world are playing each week, whether they're online or not. Like when they play those home games with their buddies, it's the experience that they treasure. So, like, when you throw in those wild games of, like, Follow the Queen or Deuces Wild or baseball or anything like that, that really creates an atmosphere of, like, hey, we're here to have fun. So that's our recommendation. That'd be a really cool thing. I'd love to see that, and I think that would bring recreational poker players to the table.
You should add a social atmosphere to it. That would be something very interesting.
And not just a little chat box, but...
and I'm ashamed to say this, it's one of my, guilty pleasures. I do play Zynga poker every now and then. I'm really sorry. Oh, that's
where
bad.
Shimmy gets his poker training.
The reason why is because I get to see, here's how all your friends are doing. There's a lot more. You can invite your friends to a table. All of a sudden, it's a lot more social. And there's something to that which gives a little bit more of a flair for someone who's just there as a recreational player.
I agree. I think 888 back in the day, I think, maybe even still have it, webcam poker. I thought that was actually very interesting. That, instead of just this blank avatar or a bot or whoever it is playing online poker with you, you actually see the person and it can lead to interaction. So I don't know how successful it was because strangers are still strangers, but if you have like a private table or a home game or something like that, where everyone is sitting in their houses but with the webcam on them, that could be pretty cool.
That could be fun. You know what? Set us up also with leagues or something like that. Pit us against other players of the same caliber, and that way, we could feel like we're trying to achieve against people who are on the same playing field as us. That would be something very interesting. Again, that would bring me back to the table.
But how could you find 8 other players on the skill level of Shimi Weiss? I'm not really sure.
All right, so clearly, they'd give an advantage to the other players.
Right.
But I'll take one for the team.
Speaking of taking one for the team, that's something that happens when you're on a downswing, I guess you could say.
Oh.
You take a lot. Unfortunately, one for the team, one for yourself, one for your neighbor. You're running cold, unfortunately.
It happens to the best of us, and I'm sure it's happened plenty of times to Robbie.
Even to me. Even to Robbie, it's happened a few times that I've been on the downswings. So David Huber, he wrote a great article, 3 ways to get out of a poker downswing. And, articles like these have been written before on other sites, but he actually put together a very interesting reason that I hadn't seen before about thinking independently. It's a way to get out of the downswing. And the thing is, a lot of people, they play poker online, and they have like the heads-up displays or statistics, and there's sort of like you get into a habit of playing a certain way based on the statistics that you see and the experiences that
You're
you have.
following a system instead of actually playing like yourself.
Exactly, and he's encouraging you, if you want to get out of the downswing, take a step back and think independently. Use your brain rather than relying on all the other, or in addition to relying on all of the other notes and statistics and things that you use to play. Use your brain a little bit more, and that may perhaps get you out of the rut that you're in. I think it was a very interesting suggestion.
I think the most important thing to get out of a downswing, what I do is you got to tighten those purse strings. You need to make sure that you're under control, that it doesn't spiral out of control. And the way to do that is, first of all, and he spoke about this as well, is taking the level down a bit. If all of a sudden you're on a losing streak, bring the stakes down. Bring it back to that you're back in control. Make sure the money you're putting on the table is not going above and beyond what you're able to spend.
Agreed.
Now, I actually have a great system with my wife, and when I started playing poker...
Wait, so 1 second. When you're talking about tightening the purse strings, it's your purse or your wife's purse?
No. I get the money from her, and it goes right back to her afterwards.
Man bag. Yeah.
But the most important thing with this is I actually turned to her and I said, you know what? I'm willing to accept the fact that maybe you're going to have a better understanding of how my upswings and downswings are going. So I'm giving you full autonomy over my poker playing. And my wife actually, she takes a look. She knows how much I'm spending, how much I'm making, and I'll be able to call her up and say, "Listen, I'm having a tough time tonight, but I think I should be buying back in." And she'll be able to look at it and say, "Buy back in and see what you can do with it," or call it a night.
And I highly recommend that, because as someone else who sat around that table, it's highly entertaining to watch Shimi talk to his wife and say, "Honey, I'm running bad. Robbie outplayed me," or whatever it may be.
That's right.
It is
Robbie. You know what? No. I can't bring Shira back here. All right. Send Robbie back to Prague. But this is jeez. I want Shira.
One way to get out of a downswing, commonly known as take a step away from the table. And while you're taking a step away from the table, clearing your head, the weekly burn and turn is a great thing to watch. So we do hope you're enjoying yourself week after week. And by all means, engage with us on Facebook. Look for the Poker Update Facebook page. Look for us on Twitter @Poker Update. We got our first Messenger Pigeon message.
Really?
Very, very exciting.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell us. What does that mean, a messenger pigeon?
A messenger pigeon, it was like this old method. It was prior to the fax machine, where a messenger pigeon carried the message of, this is sent from me to you, of what you should expect, and like a little comment, sort of.
Seriously?
Yeah. The messenger pigeon was a real thing. For those of you, Doyle Brunson and older, who remember the messenger pigeon area, you are certainly welcome to send the messenger pigeon our way. We also have fax machines, hieroglyphic decipherers, and any other way you want to communicate with us here.
That's
here at Poker Update. On to the next topic. 5 reasons to show your whole cards to an opponent. Can you think of one reason
Absolutely, and
Okay.
I've done this on many occasions, and I've seen pros do this as well on many occasions. Show your whole cards if you get paid to do so.
Yes, that's a great reason. I love it.
I've been at a table where they're like, I'll give you $5 if you show me a card. I'm like, okay,
No,
sure.
oh, see, I'll be like, who else?
That's,
Anyone else?
that's right, bring it in. How much can we make for this?
For $10, I'll show you a card. That's a great reason.
Especially, you just lost a big hand. You wanted that call so badly, and you didn't get paid off.
Right.
Sell it to them.
It totally
You know what?
works.
For $20, I'll show it to you. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, especially from my perspective, I'm not giving them any information. If they don't know what cards I'm playing, then clearly they're not a very good poker player because almost everyone else knows what cards I'm playing.
And plus, they may not necessarily gain the right information from you showing your cards because you may have had an actual real reason besides obviously getting money.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll show them, and it was clearly a bluff, but I had something else in mind, and they don't realize that.
Absolutely. And you know what? You can alter your gameplay. When you show the cards, you need to make a mental note. Why do they want to see your cards? Do they want to see that you were bluffing? Then next time in the same exact position, switch things up. It gives you an advantage if you utilize it.
There were a couple of great clips that we put into that article about very famous pro poker players who have shown their cards on camera while being televised. One of them was Daniel Negreanu. He had this great hand. I forget who he was, just the loose cannon, I think, in one of those Poker Stars big games. And the loose cannon had like a boat. He had like, fours over threes. Fours over threes. And Negreanu had like a busted straight on the river or something. Like, oh yeah, I'll show you a card. Yeah. And he shows like the deuce or something, or the five. The five. He shows the five.
Six. The six. It was the six.
And clearly, like, at that point, this is after Negreanu had put in a bet. So loose cannon knows he's good, and he goes, so he thinks and thinks, I'll raise. And then the whole table erupts from that. It was a great clip to watch. And also our boy Ronnie Barda, shout out to Ronnie Barda, great hand in the Shark Tank, I believe it was the Shark Cage, against Miss Finland. Very entertaining hand. He also had the winning hand. He had trip fours. And he goes and he couldn't believe that he was basically being put to the test all in by Miss Finland. And, he ended up folding the hand when she was going ahead and bluffing. It was a very, very entertaining hand. So another reason to show your hand, if you're on TV and you're a famous poker player, and to make a memorable thing that'll be quoted on Poker Update's Weekly Burn and Turn, great reason to show your whole cards.
Absolutely. You want to be the star. There's an art to showing your cards, especially during a hand, revealing a card. There's a real art to being able to manipulate the other player, which Negreanu has to work on a little bit more.
That was one example. So definitely check out that article by David Huber. Lots of other very interesting reasons, strategic reasons, and part of what we're about here, besides entertaining, is giving you a little bit of strategy. So definitely take a look and click on that article. I think you'll gain from it as well.
Absolutely.
Last topic we've got for you, Ronda Rousey. Everyone's talking about Ronda Rousey, huh?
Who?
Ronda Rousey. Let's try that again. No? You really don't know?
I really don't know.
Wow! Okay.
Ronda Rousey.
So, Fish at the poker table and doesn't know who Ronda Rousey is. For those like Shimi who don't know who Ronda Rousey is the biggest name in MMA, mixed martial arts. Right? Okay. So people like watching people fight, sort of like boxing, but like way more entertaining. So Ronda Rousey is the biggest name in MMA, and she's undefeated, and she's in movies and like The Expendables. It was really, really good.
Whoa, one sec. Who was she playing in The Expendables?
The one of the characters.
That movie was awesome, and how terrible it was.
It was. Well played, sir. But yeah, so Ronda Rousey, she had a big bout in UFC, and she faced Holly Holm, Holm, who wiped the floor with her. Basically put her on a silver platter and served her to lunch.
All right, but what does this have to do with poker?
Good question. Good question. So the ever creative James Gwill put together an article. 5 Ronda Rousey-like knockouts at the poker table, right? Now, Rousey got knocked out.
There, James.
Very well done. Very well. So he put some famous scenes, famous clips of when it happened at the poker table when just, guys got knocked out. And one of them was our most memorable hand that you guys voted for, most memorable televised poker hand, when Justin Phillips and his Royal Flush
over quad aces.
Over the quad aces. That was a huge knockout. Very good one.
How about you, Robbie? Have you ever had a huge knockout?
I've knocked people out, but yes. The one that James neglected to mention, which was a very big knockout, happened last week in Prague, actually. I had pocket queens, And the flop comes King, Queen, Jack with 2 diamonds, right?
Nice.
And so naturally I want to push the action, make sure I get it in there. No one's playing a straight. I don't need no flush draws, chasing, or anything like that. So all the money goes in. It was over $100, and I really was playing relatively snug, right? And one guy's hemming and hawing and hemming and hawing, and of course he calls.
Don't tell me he had 10-2 or something
He
like
did
that.
not have it. He did not have a flush draw. Did he have a straight draw? He did not have a straight draw. He had King 3.
Oh,
so
God.
I'm like, we're going Sizzler.
Oh, you're
right?
kidding me.
Okay,
That's
nothing
like
happened yet.
That's like the minus 1%.
I'm like
That's
totally
the
kicking
minus
his butt.
1%.
But since this is under the title of knockouts, he had a turn of a king and a river 3.
Oh no.
Which is why I'm here instead of still playing
no.
in Prague.
Wow.
That's the Ronda Rousey like poker knockout. Anyway,
all right. It happens to the best of us.
even
And to Rob.
And even to Rob. We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the PokerUpdate.com Weekly Burn and Turn. We're happy to be back here for you. We'll be back again next week with another exciting, rousing episode. Is that a word?
That is a word.
That is a word. Next week, I'm Robbie Straczynski.
And I'm Shimi Weiss.
Thanks for tuning in.